No matter how healed, no matter how mature, no matter how evolved, no matter how exposed, no matter how whatever you are, you definitely have red flags too. Every human being has red flags. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Real Talk with Dr. Oli. Today we're going to be talking about one of these issues that is very, very common with us lately in the Christendom. And it's on choosing a spouse. Choosing a spouse. I feel like everybody in the kingdom now, and even those outside of the kingdom, honestly, are really, really in a season where there's a lot of struggle in choosing your partner. Somehow, something that used to be so simple, that was literally, you know, sending camels with someone to go to their father's place and like find a nice girl and bring her to marry. That marriage was literally that simple at one point in time. Or even in our parents' days, even in our grandparents' days, it wasn't complicated. Like people literally saw each other. A man saw a woman, during the periods when we drifted away from arranged marriages and union. A man saw a woman that he thought was a nice lady from a good home or whatever it was he was looking for, and he simply, asked her to be his woman, and they went to each other's families and they got married. But now there's so many hoops to jump through. So many hoops, so many questions. Everybody has so many expectations. And I think definitely we need to unravel some of that and just maybe put ourselves just a little bit closer to having some idea of what we should be looking for. And, even as Christian women, especially, what are the kind of ideologies that we should have? And what kind of questions should we be asking or should we be getting answers to before we decide who we want to get married to? Again, I have Faithy here who's going to be asking me some questions, and I guess those questions will be leading questions.
Hi, Dr. Oli. So my question is, would you advise a Christian lady that is not outrightly attracted to this guy, consider the guy as a prospect? Mind you, she doesn't know this guy. She doesn't know this guy as a friend yet. So they are still to get to know each other.
Okay.
But she's not outrightly physically attracted to this guy. And the guy is Christian. And the lady is Christian as well.
Easily, I would say yes. Do you know why I would say yes? The concept of outright physical attraction, while I have said that attraction is important, you cannot and you should not get married to somebody that you are not attracted to. Attraction does not always form instantaneously. Now, I'm not going to be super religious about it and say that, oh, getting attracted to somebody instantaneously is a sign of being lusty or whatever. No, there are certain features that we like in a person. It's just like if you meet some guys will tell you, oh, I love tall women, I love dark-skinned women. Others like light-skinned women. It's the same thing with women. Some women I know like men who are big, who are, muscular and all of that. Other women like men who are slim. Those are the things that form the basis of outright physical attraction. But there is more. So it's not that outright physical attraction is wrong, but there is more than physical attraction. There is attraction as a whole. And attraction as a whole makes up for physical deficits. So when I say, I can date someone, or I can get into a courtship or relationship with somebody who is not necessarily what I'm physically attracted to. What I mean is there are certain features that the person may possess that will make me become attracted to them. So I'm not saying that you should ever find yourself in a situation where you are marrying somebody that you haven't developed an attraction to. Absolutely not. If attraction does not form in the course of getting to know someone, in the course of talking for months or whatever, do not proceed. That person is your friend, your brother in the Lord. Keep them in your friend zone, your brother zone. Don't proceed into forming a lifelong union with this person. But you also cannot build a lifelong union based purely on physical attraction. Because the truth of the matter is, the person who likes a slim woman, after childbearing and she gets fat, what happens? Are you going to ditch your wife, or you start looking for someone else, or you put unnecessary pressure on her to go back to her pre baby body? I mean, I'm one of those people who believe that you should work on your fitness and all that. Don't let yourself go. But the truth of the matter is, life happens. Sometimes people develop medical conditions that put them on medications that change their physical appearance. So, does the marriage go into crumbs then if something changes? So, you cannot build based on instant physical attraction. Attraction in general is not based on just physical. When you become attracted to someone in general, the physical also comes into play because you're drawn to the person. So if you meet someone and there's no instant physical attraction, but there's something about the person anyways that makes you think, okay, let me get to know the person. Because physical attraction aside, there are some people, for me personally, there's some people that I wouldn't even bother trying to have a conversation along the lines of dating, because off the get-go, there are certain things, even if he's Christian, I'm Christian. From the start, there are certain things that I look at already, and I'm like, let's even forget attraction. Based on this, we will not be able to work together. Like I've said previously, the verse, can two work together except they agree, is so important where marriage is concerned. You need to be in agreement to build something lifelong. Now, in terms of foundational beliefs, I'm not somebody who's going to say automatically do not marry someone that's from a different background as you, or different tribe or different culture. But there are some beliefs automatically that are ingrained in us that cannot change. Now, I'm the kind of person who I believe, there's nothing wrong with me spending my money on holidays, go somewhere nice, explore something new. If you meet someone that is from a different kind of upbringing or familial idea where they believe that, oh, money should always be spent on practical and logical things all the time, already off the get-go, there's no point in me trying to build something with you, because we will end in a lot of conflict over that. If I'm the kind of person who, if I'm very, very stressed, I can wake up today and say, oh, I need to go to Albania. I'm mentally stressed and all of that. But you're the kind of person who believes that money should never be spent like that. It should always be pre-arranged, be ordered and all that. I won't even, so it's not even just off the top of, I'm not physically attracted to you from the start. I can already sense certain things about, your background, your views and all that. And I already know that the two of us, we're not in the same, mindset at all. So there's no point even trying to broach that area of life. There may be certain features about the person in the course of getting to know them that will make you become attracted to them. So despite the fact that instant, oh, this guy is my type, is fine, is this and that, despite the fact that I was not there, in the course of conversation, talking to him, maybe he's kind. Maybe he's somebody who is very kind, who is generous, who is intentional, and those things speak to you. Maybe he's the kind of person that, oh, even though he doesn't have money, or even when he doesn't have money, he's the kind of person, I see you smiling, Gen Z's and money. So even though he doesn't have a lot, but you can tell that he's the kind of person who, despite not having a lot, he will put in effort to try to help you. Maybe it's like, oh, you've got something heavy or whatever that you need to carry or sort out, that you can see that this person automatically, without you asking, is trying to help you sort it out. Or maybe you've got a work project or something that's, giving you stress, and this person is automatically trying to look for how to help you. There are certain things that warm our hearts, even when the outright physical attraction is not there. And when your heart is warmed towards someone, you become attracted to the person. So yes, that's what I mean when I say, even if the physical attraction is not there from the start, definitely give an opportunity to get to know someone before you decide that, oh no, this person cannot be it.
I've heard of situations where people say they have dreams that this person is their spouse. What are your thoughts on that?
That is a very good one. In fact, you've stirred the honest net, because I'm a dreamer. So one of my prophetic gifts is actually seeing things in dreams, not just about relationships or whatever. In general, I see things in dreams before they happen most of the time, and that has been happening since I was a child. Where relationships are concerned, and this concept of seeing someone, it can be very, very tricky and very disturbing, because I have been in that situation where I did see someone. In fact, I saw the person before I met them, or at least I believed that this was the person that I had seen before I met them. And there were very, very clear instructions in the dream that, oh, this person was going to be your husband. There were signs, there were certain signs that were in the dream at that time. And then when I met the person, the signs were there. And then I dreamt about the person consistently for a long time. You know when you're like, because for me personally, I do not believe that you should build a relationship with someone based on dreams alone. Because especially if you're somebody who has been dreaming for a long time, you do understand the fact that the meaning in the dream may not necessarily be the meaning in real term. For example, you can have a dream and see yourself walking hand in hand with someone, or you see someone, pull you from a certain level. Maybe you're down and the person pulls you up. Or you see yourself in a white dress with someone and you see the person smiling at you from the stage. And automatically, if you're not someone who's used to dreaming or whatever, you can get careless and assume that that automatically means that this person is meant to be your husband. But it can mean so many different things. It can mean that this person is going to rescue you from a difficult situation. It can mean that this person is going to lead you spiritually to a new level. Even seeing yourself in a wedding gown and seeing them, it can mean that this person is going to stand as a groomsman for you in the form of the Spirit to nurture you into your place as the bride of Christ. But when you dream it and you run with it, you just think, that's meant to be my husband. And so many problems can arise from there. So the concept of I've dreamt about someone, is this person my husband? It's very possible that you've dreamt about the person and the person is your husband, but time and agreement matter. Do you normally see things in dreams? That's the first thing. Because if you don't normally receive messages in dreams, why do you suddenly want to believe that the time that you dreamt that somebody is your husband, that means the person is definitely your husband? That's probably just your emotions speaking. You probably are interested in that person. And just like you said, you can actually think about something and dream it. But the concept of you have seen this person and maybe you've had very clear instructions and what you feel are confirmations that this person is your husband, the person also needs to agree. It doesn't matter what you are seeing, how long you are seeing it. Whoever is showing you needs to show him as well. Or if it is the him that is saying, needs to show her as well. If the other person is shown and they don't agree, that is also fine. Because it's also possible that yes, you have dreamt right, but this person says they are not going to work in agreement with that for whatever reason. People can be stubborn and God does not usurp anybody's free will. Apart from stubbornness, people also have their traumas. They also have their insecurities that they refuse to let go of. There are so many things that can hinder when one person has seen somebody as their spouse from coming into agreement or marital agreement with that person. Does it mean you will not have another spouse? Absolutely not. There are many, many people that can fit into your destiny. But what I believe is that sometimes, just like the Lord presented Eve to Adam, God saw Adam and said, it is not good for him to be alone, so I'll make him a helpmeet. Adam was in purpose. And while he was in purpose, the Lord was like, somebody else needs to be here, guide, supporting him with these animals that he's naming, tending the garden, looking after him as well, having somebody that he can talk to, that he's seeing. So he brought Eve and he said, and when he brought Eve, he did not say, oh yeah, this is your woman and you must keep her. He presented her. I said that before in that relationship series. He presented Eve, and when Adam saw, Adam himself recognized her and said, this is the bone of my bone and flesh of my flesh. And he now named her woman. So God can present someone to you. If you're the one maybe who sees faster or whatever, he can present the person to you in a dream. But the person on the other end needs to also now recognize you and agree. If that person does not recognize you or that person does not agree, you will be presented to somebody else. So it takes two people agreeing where marriage is concerned, regardless of what you have seen in a dream, in a vision. And like I said, those things can be quite tricky. It takes a second person also coming into agreement. Another thing is that when we have these dreams sometimes, especially if it is somebody we like, or somebody that maybe we ourselves now develop an attraction for, whatever, there's a tendency to want to start doing things our own way. You want to overposition, you want to do this, do that, do that. Don't do that. If it is indeed God that has shown you people to each other, time, seasons, everything will align to bring you together at the right time. Don't try to make it work yourself, because it's not you that gave yourself the dream or vision, is it? So don't now put the effort, because it can start to feel, especially if, let's assume you saw somebody 5 years ago, and 5 years later, the person, I read the book, I can't remember the name of the book now, and I think it took 7 years from when this lady saw this man as her husband before they actually got married. And they were in the same ministry. I really wish I could remember the name of that book. I think it's on my phone. And they were in the same ministry. She was even working with him and all whatnot. So she knew it was torture for her. And I think he was even talking to other women, getting to know other women in her very before. And she could do nothing about it. But they still ended up together. So if it is a divine plan, you don't need to do anything but come into your own agreement. The other person, when it is time, the person too will see and come into agreement. If it doesn't with this one person, it will with another person. So it's not as complex as we normally think it is, or we think, oh, if we've seen this person, because sometimes, we have seen cases or scenarios where two people have seen each other, and then, or one person has seen, and then they see the other person getting married, and then they just feel, oh, I've done something wrong, I've missed it. The God we serve is too merciful for you to miss it. I saw someone say that, and I saw my spirit so agreed with it, that God knows you. He knows how stubborn you are. He knows your weaknesses, your frailties. He knows all the ways you can sabotage his plan for you. And he says, all things work together for good to them that love God. So the important thing is, do you love God? If you know that you genuinely love God, your heart is where it should be in him. You cannot miss it. You cannot miss his plan for your life if you love him. Regardless of whatever mistakes you make, all those mistakes will work together for your good. And it's the same thing with relationship alignment and marital alignments. If the person that you have seen, it doesn't work with the person, the Lord will bring you someone else, or bring you to someone else that will align with you.
What are some green flags to consider when choosing the one quotes for marriage?
One thing that I always say is a must is that you need to choose a giver. You need to see that this person is somebody who gives. And I don't just mean financially, because when people are, they bought me iPhone, they bought me, a giver in the sense of this person can give time, this person cares. Because automatically when you care, even the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son. With loving comes giving. It's not possible to love and not give. So the first thing you're checking for is the nature of the person, because there are lots of people who say they are Christians and don't have a giving nature. That means they're not living in love. That means they're not made perfect in love if they don't give inherently. So one thing you're checking is, does he give? What is he? And it's not just to you, because that's another thing that people do. When people are interested in it, the person can be giving you everything. It doesn't make them a giver. It's because they are chasing you. So they will give you all their time, their effort, their money, their this and that. No, you actually need to be looking at what they're doing for others around them. What is he like with his family? What is he like in church? What is he like in general in the workspaces? What do people say about this person? Is this the kind of person that when he sees that somebody needs help, he's trying to, be there to help and support? Giver, you need to be checking yourself. You yourself, are you a giver? Because everybody is looking to another person to find the answers of the one. You too, are you the one? That's one thing that I always say. I can say with my full chest that I am the one. Like someone asked me that, would you marry? I said, if I met somebody like me, I would happily marry the person. And this is not me being cocky or whatever. It is because I know that I have allowed time, experience, and life shape me. Because there's no point in searching for, oh, the person is a giver, the person is kind, but you are not any of those things. So you first need to ask yourself before you even go on the journey of the one, that me too, am I the one? Me too as a person, how shaped am I? How formed am I? Am I made perfect in forgiveness? Forgiveness is so important for a long-term relationship. If you're not someone that knows how to let things go, it's a very bad prognosis for marriage. And forgiveness is not based on the basis of the person asking you, because there will be times when neither one of you will be able to agree on who was wrong. You will believe you are right, this other person will believe they are right. You still have to forgive each other anyways, even when nobody's apologizing to the other person. So one of the key traits in the one as well is the ability to let things go. See how they handle fights. See how they handle displeasure. See how they react when you do things that they don't like. Even if you feel you've not done anything, what are they doing about it? Are they the kind of person that will go silent on you indefinitely, keep malice and keep harping? There are some people that they will press on that thing forever and ever. No, you said this. No, you did this. No, this is what this means. No, this is what they will sit on it. Those kind of people are not the best candidates for marriage, because so much will happen in the course of spending forever with each other. If you're the kind of person that cannot let things go, you are not the one. You are not. So those are key traits. Just put yourself in Corinthians, Second Corinthians 13, or is it First Corinthians 13? I've been talking so much, I've forgotten the Bible verse on love. Love is perfect. Love is kind. Love does not take account of the wrong that is done to them. Love is patient. Put yourself there. Are you all those things? Are you willing to be those things for somebody else? And then this person that you're thinking about, can this person be those things for you? Again, do not expect perfection from any human being. Nobody is perfect. That is the first thing that one needs to remember. Because I think one of the reasons why we're struggling so much lately with marriage is that we are looking for perfect people. We're looking for the person that is perfectly healed, perfectly healthy, says the right things all the time, perfectly intentional, perfect. That is so unrealistic. And we sound deep when we are saying these things. I see all these videos and they're like, Kiniko, my trauma. Have you gone to therapy? Have you this one, that one? This person is this and that. Don't do this. The person that is avoider, oh, if he does this, do that. All these things are going to leave people single forever. Because even you that is demanding all those things, believe me, you have your own areas too where you will remain flawed. You are a human. No matter how healed, no matter how mature, no matter how evolved, no matter how exposed, no matter how whatever you are, you definitely have red flags too. Every human being has red flags. No matter how self-aware and everything they are, you have something that for another human being can serve as a trigger. And that's just the truth. And that is where the concept of having ample room to give each other grace. You need to be able to give each other grace forever. So that's one thing you need to be looking at in You're the One. And that brings me to my third thing that you should be looking for: communication. Now, communication styles differ. There are some people, me for example, I'm a communicator. I will communicate your ears off. I will talk. I will send you paragraph of everything that I'm feeling, of how it is doing me. I don't know how to keep things in my mind. I don't know how I've tried that thing so much that, okay, sometimes just keep quiet and I can't. I have to talk. I have to communicate what I'm feeling. But sometimes this other person too is going through their own thing. And at this point in time, they cannot handle your communication. So, are you having grace for this other person? And is this other person having grace for you? Is this other person understand that, okay, my woman is a communicator and sometimes she does not understand the fact that right now I don't have the capacity for this. But is he willing to have the grace for the fact that that's how she is? We are communicator. I'll get back to you when I can. And are you also the one that is a communicator? Are you having grace for the person that does not communicate as much? Are you having grace for the fact that for this person, they struggle with making this many words? It doesn't mean they don't care. It doesn't mean, are you so all these things matter. Understanding each other's communication styles and also making grace and room for it. But either way, communication must happen. Whether one person talks a lot, whether one person does not talk, whether you're communicating with your body language or whatever, the two people in a relationship need to be communicating. They need to understand each other. Because if you're keeping your pain in, your struggle in, you cannot grow together in a relationship. So you need to be telling each other. And in telling each other, you're not just telling each other, you need to be listening to each other. So if you've got a partner, for example, that says, oh, I feel overwhelmed by a lot of communication, but you're a communicator, and the both of you, have decided that we want to work together. You that is a communicator needs to understand that sometimes I will have to pull my communication back. Sometimes I will have to learn how to keep this thing in for the sake of my partner. Your partner too needs to be given the grace for the fact that this person is a communicator. So sometimes I need to let her communicate because it's who she is. And the partner that is not a talker needs to understand that because she's a talker, sometimes I need to speak. I need to let her know that this is what is going on. I need to say, oh, look, right now I'm not in the best headspace. I will come and talk to you later, but I need a few days to process. So that way you've communicated. So I think for me, those are the three key things, in all honesty. Communication, then forgiveness, and giving. Those are three foundational things that I look for in a person, because those things to me show their heart state. And then of course the core thing is, do your values align? Because no matter how much you want to communicate, there are certain things that we cannot agree on is we cannot agree on. It doesn't make anybody's own wrong. So the things that matter to you, the things that you know that these things foundationally are there. These things I cannot shift. I've never shifted because like I said, there are some things that will matter to you that you can change. Relationships involve compromise. So the things that you can change on, yes, please change. But the things that are fixed, for example, something like wants kids, does not want kids. There are some people that genuinely do not want children. Does not make sense for you to marry somebody who does not want children when you know that you are a children's kind of person. So those things are important. Sort out your values, the things that matter the most. I think those things will make for a great union. All these other extra things that we add, all these other, tick boxes that we're looking at, it's leaving people so isolated. It's leaving people so unnecessarily isolated. You're not going to find a perfect human being that will check all your boxes. You people will need to grow together, to learn together. Just have the foundational things, and of course, be attracted to each other. Like I said, that's very important. For your marriage bed to be undefiled, you have to be attracted to each other. Because yes, that's very important. There are lots of the married people that I know that are the happiest are the ones that are having regular sex. I'm just going to throw that in there. So for the people that don't believe in attraction, attraction is key. There's a reason why they say the marriage bed is undefiled, because there are lots of matters that can only be solved in the marriage bed. There are lots of communication that can only be communicated by a couple in the bedroom. You people will talk, and you just keep fighting if you continue talking. So just go and take it out on your marital bed. So yes, attraction is a key. It's in everything, not just in relationships. In anything you do, you need to bring God into it. So as you are ticking all the boxes, as you are asking God, and when I say bring God into it, it's not just waiting for God to come and drop your husband at your doorstep and say that's the one, or to drop your wife at your doorstep. When you meet someone that you like or whatever, you are carrying God along. Lord, I like this person. I like Mr. So and so. I like Miss So and so. Guide me through this. What is your take? What kind of relationship do you have with the Lord? How do you guys communicate? Communicate it with Him. The topic of marriage and relationships is such an endless one. Feel free to drop a comment with some of your questions, and I'll either address them in the comment section or we'll talk about it on our next episode. Thank you, Faithy, for the wonderful questions. It was lovely to have you in the background. Have a wonderful day, guys. Until next time, that's Real Talk with Dr. Oli. Bye. Also, I've actually done a relationship episode before during our relationship series in church. I will get the link to that episode so you can watch it and you can get some more enlightening on relationships and talking about marriage or choosing marriage generally and a partner from a Christian woman's perspective.